In the headlines, Kellyanne Williams assumes the post of acting DFC events coordinator. 9 candidates on the ground heading into Monday's Urban Council elections. And tourist arrivals for this Creole Festival predicted to be the highest so far. I am Andrea Lee with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this. Thank you for staying with us. Topping the news, the new person directing the affairs at the Dominica Festivals Committee says the team has had to re-strategize the planning of the World Creole Music Festival since the sudden departure of St. Lucian Claudine Springer as events director. Iduna John-Baptist has more.
Kellyanne Williams has taken up the post as acting events director of the DFC. Although she may be fresh into the position, Williams has been a product development assistant of the Discover Dominica Authority and is seen every now and again working behind the scenes at DFC events. She was publicly introduced at the first DFC news conference ahead of the 19th WCMF on Thursday. She told the media her role is to be the overall coordinator of the event.
We will face a situation on August 12th. That was a Friday. As staff, you say, you go home the weekend, you shake that off, and Monday we came back and we were ready to roll. So I oversee all the different areas, or the functional areas of the festival. So although we have specific persons dealing with different areas like venue, marketing, I ensure that everything is done for the festival.
Williams' new assignment comes as St. Lucian Claudine Springer, who took up the job in May, left early August because, according to her, she could not deal with the red tapes of the public sector.
The team has been here before. It's a DDA team. So we know certain aspects of the festival. So we went back, we regrouped, and then we just moved forward from where we've been. We made changes that were necessary. Mr. Coffey came on, and from now to the festival, we're just moving forward. We're not looking back.
Williams has a bachelor's degree in hospitality and tourism management from Florida International University. Val Coffey has once again been brought in as a consultant to assist with the planning of the WCMF. He brings extensive experience to the job as a former DFC executive director.
With the sudden departure of the last ED, a lot of things we had to reevaluate the strategies and to put together the functional areas, because there were several functional areas that was dysfunctional that had to be revisited and to make functional, if you understand what I'm talking about. So once we have done that and we have dotted our I's and crossed our T's, you will see the aggression of the local component. The radio stations have been doing a fantastic job thus far, although we have had reports of some stations not doing as they have contracted to do in playing the music of the artists of the festival and to play the ads. So we want to ask them, management as well as DJ, every announcer should take a social responsibility of this festival and do your part.
Meantime, tourist arrivals from the French Antilles is expected to be the greatest it has ever been for the staging of next month's World Creole Music Festival. A team which has been visiting the French West Indies to promote the event will leave the island for another promotional tour this weekend. The event's promoter, Leroy Wadix-Charles, says they have rebranded and are aggressively promoting the event since Tropical Storm Erica's impact caused its cancellation last year.
And if this thing is happening where the visitors have accepted it, have realized it, and they will be coming down in multitudes, I can guarantee you that. Never before in our 19-year history, the feedbacks from the French have been so overwhelming. Never before. Already, 2 months before the festival, bookings are going out of hand in Martinique and Guadeloupe. It is the first time in our history we have provided them with 100 billboards each in Martinique and Guadeloupe. Myself and Ezra Winston, just on the other side, will be heading across to the French Antilles over the weekend. We plan to hit each and every community in Guadeloupe.
The lineup is being credited for the growing interest in this year's event. Promotions have also been taking place in Antigua and St. Martin.
We went to St. Martin, and the support overwhelmed me. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting with the manager of Win Air, who already has decided as long as the scheduled flights are filled, they're going to put more. We got headline news in Antigua. We have a whole calendar of artists from all over the region that wants to be part of it, that we have to examine and get a way to include them.
In other news now, the Korean government has donated 2 protocol vehicles and housing material to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Counselor of the Embassy of the Republic of Korea explained that the housing material will go towards the construction of houses in the Kainago territory. He said Korea is an old friend who established a diplomatic relationship with Dominica on its Independence Day. He reminded that these 2 vehicles are not regular protocol vehicles and they are to be used to move foreign guests to every part of the country. Extending appreciation for the gift, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Francine Barron, said Dominicans in the past have benefited from regular donations of material and equipment from the Korean government. The campaign of 9 candidates is in full gear as they prepare for the Canefield Urban Council elections come Monday. Idona Jean-Baptiste reports.
The candidates for Canefield Urban Council are going into the elections as 2 separate teams, although each of them has individual symbols which every voter will put a vote to identify support for their candidate. Michael Coppell, who topped the last election in 2013, generating 187 votes, is recontesting this year. He is part of a 5-member team, along with Michael Timothy, Joyce Dupuy, Ingrid Abraham and Maximo Powell. Coppell told Channel 5 News they have been on the ground leading up to Monday's election.
I will stop the polls this time around. 5 of us is on the team and we are giving effective representation to the people of Canefield. Henceforth, they deserve better than that. The people of Canefield are hardworking people, intelligent people, honest people. So based on that, we are offering ourselves not to be councillors, but to be humble servants to the people of Canefield. We will work with our senior citizens, we will work with our youth, we will build our infrastructure, our roads, our drains, we will do those things. We want to recognize persons who have made a meaningful contribution to the development of Canefield. There is no playing facilities for young people in Canefield, and we need that.
Coppell's teammate, former preschool teacher Ingrid Abraham, is running for the first time. One of the areas she sees which needs attention is the walkway to Massac Canefield Primary School.
I know they have done a good work done walking to the pathway to the Massac Preschool, but honestly, there are too much water catching in that area when the children are walking. I just have to remind the people at the council that they have to put pallets and new ones because they're getting deteriorated. That is very important. That area we have to pay attention to because the children sometimes step into a dirty water which runs from people. Their sewage. That's very, very dangerous. And even the stones, they roll along there, we have to do something because it's dangerous. A boulder can come down and hurt the child. That area needs to be taken care of.
Another first-time candidate, Alan Wilson, is contesting with the other team.
I want to see the community as it used to be before, where a lot of things was happening. And that's why I decided to contest this election.
What are the specific areas are you referring to?
Well, the basketball court right now is in ruins. There's no more football going on down there. There's the roads are depleting. There's would like to see a lot more happening on the ground, like the Cane Fest. We want to bring that back, and we intend to bring it back bigger than it actually used to be. So those are a few of the things. Also, we are on our campaign train, we are meeting the people, we are getting ideas from the people as well as that they would also like to see done. And we are actually seeing how we can implement it in what we have already structured to have done in our first 3 years of office once we win.
Steingel Carter is making a comeback, this time on a new team together with Wilson.
So that was like 6 years ago I first contested, along with Mr. Powell, Nurse James, Jerry Abraham, a few of us, we sat on that council. Well, I decided to recontest on the request of the people of Canefield. Everywhere I go, Everybody asking me, Casa, why are you not going back up? Why are you not going back up? We need you back there. But the reason I decided to join up with the team is because they are the people I see I can work with to actually make Kinfield a better place. Some people on the other side, I know very well that we'll not be able to work with them because they are just in it for the politics. We need a play area, a proper playground, a proper football area, a proper basketball court. The basketball court up there seems to have been neglected. The football area is the same thing, it's been neglected. And we have no small little park for the kids to play because the grass, they got the Eddie Tuller Park, the grass, half the time the grass is like waist high.
Other members of that team are Jefferson Macpherson and Alian Abel. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
One young entrepreneur is planning to bring greater exposure to local entertainers when he completes a 5-week program in the United States. The Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative, YLI, was created by United States President Barack Obama and seeks to expand opportunities for emerging entrepreneurs and civil society innovators in Latin America and the Caribbean. During the 5 weeks, young leaders from across the region will learn to strengthen their leadership, innovation, and entrepreneurship skills and be provided with opportunities for networking. Dominica's male representative for YLI believes this lifetime opportunity will help him bring further exposure to local entertainers.
One thing with YLI is I will be able to get a number of links, through networking, I'll be able to get a number of links, and thus, when I broadcast the events from here, whether I'm doing individual talents or whether I'm doing events of that nature where I can broadcast it to a wider audience, then I am able to further develop that in an aspect where I can push not just what is taking place, but the individuals as well. With YLI, I'm going to broadcast it to a number of others as well. So it's going to be much bigger than where I'm starting right now.
Mitchell has been an entrepreneur for just over 6 years and believes that this opportunity with YLI will help him grow as an entrepreneur.
When I started BRBP TV, I didn't have any experience whatsoever. I pretty much just started it as a way of me being able to try to help individuals, especially people with talent. And I was not sure what I was doing. Through trial and error, you got better and better and better. But what YLI would do was to let me understand the professional aspect of it, or to initiate the starting of the idea, bring it forth, what needs to take place, what I have to do, and then put out a better product. So in a sense, it's like elevating to another level or another step in what I am actually doing as a media representative and a videographer as well.
Mitchell encouraged other young entrepreneurs to keep at their craft in an effort to create positive changes in the country.
If you love doing something, if you love doing, just go ahead, keep at it, and you must reach somewhere. There's this in consistency. If you're always consistent at something, you must get somewhere with it. It doesn't matter what you want out of life, the main way to make it is consistency. That's all you gotta do. God and consistency.
2 young entrepreneurs from Dominica were selected to attend this 5-week program. Channel 5 News will bring you an interview with the female entrepreneur Valerie Honoré in a subsequent newscast. Coming up, this year's literary festival. Welcome back. Dominica's indigenous people are taking more proactive measures to ensure the preservation of their native language. This as the Kalinago community gets ready to reintroduce the concept of ritual baths. The ritual bath will form part of activities for Kalinago Week and will take place on World Rivers Day.
On the 25th, which is also World Rivers Day, we will be at the KBA, and those of you who have not visited KBA, there's a beautiful waterfall below. And historically, that's why our ancestors used to go and take ritual baths long ago. A ritual bath is a thing that is leaving us, but some of you old enough and who understand what is a ritual bath, where you use herbs and gather herbs and you boil it, and then you would go by the river mouth or by the sea, between the sea and the river, and take a nice cleansing. It's a repellent of negativity to give you if you lost your motivation, to get motivated again and to get strength. That is a very much of our embracing our heritage and tradition of ritual bath.
At the end of the ceremony, new Kalinago names will be bestowed on the participants. Prosper is hoping that a large number of people, especially those with Kalinago ancestry, will express interest in obtaining indigenous names in order to help the language of the Kalinago people live on.
When you move from that, like you come out of this water below with a smoke ceremony coming up, you will be given a new Kalinago name, so that we are trying to bring back the language in a very informal way. That if 50 people have Kalinago names and their friends and families are able to retain those names and their meaning, this is an indirect way of bringing back the language back to life. So we're inviting all the people from especially Kalinago territory, and if you have Kalinago ancestry and you wish to have a Kalinago name, you can sign in for that.
The activities for Kalinago Week officially begin on 16th September. A warning from fire officers to the public to avoid moving accident victims. Individuals involved in vehicular accidents should not be moved by anyone except the fire officers. PRO of the Fire and Ambulance Services, Wayne Later, told Channel 5 News that moving the individual may cause more harm than good.
We advise persons to do that. It may not always be fitting to drag the person out of the scene, out of the motor vehicle, if that is not easily done. Because one of the things you find may happen, is that in trying to get the person out, you may cause further injuries to the person. But it doesn't mean that you cannot assist. First, you must ensure that you do an assessment of the area, and if it is possible that the person can be moved, if the person can move on their own, yes, you could assist them in getting out. But in cases where the persons are actually trapped in the vehicle.
He says there have been instances where people have stated that the fire and ambulance services were contacted, but when reviewed, no one called. Later said that by moving individuals from the wrecked vehicle in most cases is irrelevant.
One of the things we have to always remember, though, extrication or removing of the person from the wrecked vehicle, it's one, but the treatment, the necessary treatment that they may need, it's another. And it sometimes makes absolutely no sense that you remove the person, place them on the ground or something, and then their condition gets worse. So the fire department officers are trained in dealing with that and moving the person properly from those wreck scenes and placing them on the ambulance with the necessary prop and what we mean proper packaging to be transported to the hospital.
The PRO said people should ask themselves, what are we saving the individuals from when we insist on moving them ourselves? Are we saving them from the wreck or from the injury? Because what could cause the person's death is the injury sustained. New dates have been announced for this year's 9th edition of the Nature Island Literary Festival. The change is due to poor attendance of teachers and students, many of whom travel out of Dominica for summer vacation. Deputy Chair of the festival, Dr. Alvin Bully, said that the committee felt it was most important that young people be exposed to the best writers of the Caribbean. He also believes that they should be introduced to the many careers that were open to them in the fields of writing and publishing. This year's main event is scheduled for this Sunday at the UWI Open Campus from 10 a.m., followed by a Mero Beach Rhyme from 3 to 9 p.m. Next week's event is a special schools festival showcase on Monday at the Arak House of Culture. All events are free and open to the public. And speaking of literacy, it was Benjamin Franklin who said, and I quote, "An investment in knowledge pays the best dividends," end quote. And Derek Botts is quoted as saying, open quote, "If you think that education is expensive, try ignorance," end quote. Well, students from across the country headed back into the classroom this week, some of whom happened to be the children of some really proud parents here at Mappin 2K4. In recognition of the investment that Dominican parents make in their children's education, Channel 5 News thought we might share some exquisite pictures of a few members of Mappin staff and their school-age children as they headed back to the classroom this new school term. Plant manager Fitzroy Anthony with Kelsey and Malik, Human Resource Assistant Athenia Bellett and her daughter, Makaya. Sales and Marketing Executive Chantal Winston and her son, Jaquan. News reporter Deslyn Joseph and her son, Taj. News reporter and presenter Idona John-Baptist and her daughter, Marissa. Graphics coordinator Kendra Fagan and her daughter, Jordan. And camera operator Ishmael Lewis with his daughter, Jazara. That's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
We start off with cricket, where ahead of the WICB's meeting on Friday and Saturday here, where a number of matters pertaining to the future of West Indies cricket will be discussed, a local sports consultant believes one of the areas needing attention is increased crowds at tests.
I think what needs to be done is to galvanize the interest back into Test cricket, to see crowds come out to Test cricket. So whatever it is that has to be done, probably the day-night matches, as they're suggesting, is something that, has to be done, or probably the scheduling of those matches, because some of those matches will take place, during the course of an ordinary week, from Monday to Friday, for instance. Probably it should be looked at. The scheduling should be such that you start the test match on a Thursday and you go into the balance of the weekend. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
One of the matters up for discussion was the two-tier system for the sport. However, that proposal was scrapped by the International Cricket Council at a meeting of its chief executives on Wednesday, although 6 full members were reportedly in favor of it. Meantime, Thomas believes the addition of Craig Brathwaite to the Windies' ODI squad was a good move. Brathwaite joins the West Indies side for a 3-match ODI series against Pakistan later this month. In football, Wednesday's round of the 2016 Flow DFA Premier League kicked off with 2 wins for Exodus FC and Caribbean Cool Harlem United on Wednesday. Exodus hammered Wacky Rollers 5-0 and Caribbean Cool Harlem United beat Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers 3-2. Here is Gerald George with more.
We go to the Dubla playing field where Exodus Football Club handed Wacky Rollers their second 5-0 defeat inside 5 days. Dylan Carlisle from the back of the net twice for Exodus, with 1 each coming from Delbert Hazel, Romario Burgils and Ashwan Hill. Dylan Carlisle was named man of the match, while at the Benjamin Park in Portsmouth, Caribbean Cool Harlem United edged out Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers 3-2. Nigel Sanderson, Errol Blaze and Christophe Gervais scored for Harlem. Eddie Thomas and Erskine Williams scored for Bombers. Elwin Jalwe was named man of the match. The league continues on Friday with Baffin State Football Club going in search of victory number 3 when they take on Midland United Football Club at the Dubla playing field from 6 p.m. On Sunday, defending champions Dubla Football Club will come up against Petro Caribe Point Michel Football Club at the Dubla playing field, while at the Benjamin Park it will be Sajiko Southeast Football Club versus RIC Kensborough Football Club. Both matches begin at 4 p.m.
Next up, following the start of Phase 1 of Lindo Park's facelift, the project has now slowed down. Upon review of the renovations budget, the Goodwill Sports and Development Committee realized they needed additional funding.
We're basically in need of 50,000 EC dollars to complete it. Out of the 3 contractors that we picked, the cheapest one was 100,000. We already have the fence, the pole, most of the material. We have Caribbean Construction, which is known as the cement company. They actually donated 20 pallets of cement. We have Caribbean Sand and Stones also donating sand and tarish to the whole project. So we appreciate them in donating what they have donated so far. So in moving forward, basically we're trying to get the balance in getting bricks, 8-inch bricks, and also the labor part of the fund so we can move forward.
The committee is reaching out to the public to help out wherever they can, since many Dominicans use the facility.
We're asking and reaching out on all, the Goodwill residents and, the Dominican residents on the whole, because this park is used by a lot of different institutions and organizations as part of, a day-to-day training facility to host events and stuff like that. Right now we have we have stuff scheduled up to next year for Lindo Park as far as different events from organizations that we, that want to use the park.
Serving you some volleyball news, where Posse Breakers copped the 2nd Division Championship title with a straight set win over CT Kings on Wednesday. Breakers had a comfortable win 3-0 with scores 25-21, 25-17 and 25-21. Finally, in results from the Soca Dominate 300 Domino League, in Game 1, Rabbit Hole 84 does 3 points, Baghdad 80 does 2 points, and High Roller 74 does 1 point. Next, my boy the 007 84 does 3 points, Volley 77 does 2 points, and the 4B Scum 62 does 1 point. Finally, Demolish 75 does 3 points, Arms 74 does 2 points, and Hurt Them 72 does 1 point. That's all the sporting highlights for now. Be sure to join us tomorrow.
Your weather forecast is next.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Your Weather. I'll be your presenter, Farah Rock Career. Let's move on now to some earlier infrared satellite imagery. And what is of interest to us is this area of convection due to lingering instability associated with a tropical wave. We take a look now at some earlier visible satellite imagery, and what it showed is some low-level clouds across the islands of the Lesser Antilles. Earlier radar imagery indicated some scattered shower activity just northeast of the Windward Islands, and that is associated with the tropical wave which I mentioned earlier. Weak unstable conditions will produce partly cloudy skies with a few scattered showers and a chance of isolated thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies with scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms is expected. The marine conditions will be slight to moderate and waves will be up to 5 feet. Let's take a look now at the weather for the weekend. Well, as I said, tomorrow, Friday, mostly cloudy skies with some scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms can be expected. A high pressure system will reestablish itself Saturday into Sunday. Therefore, the weather on Saturday will be partly cloudy with a few brief showers, and on Sunday, partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy with some scattered showers. Lingering moisture associated with the tropical wave, which I mentioned earlier, will produce mostly cloudy skies across the islands of the Lesser Antilles tomorrow. Let's take a look now at the international city forecast. The cities of Miami and Caracas can expect some thunderstorm activity, overcast skies over London, and both New York and Beijing will enjoy partly cloudy skies tomorrow. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:53 a.m. and will set at 6:11 p.m. Please remember, we are in hurricane season. Feel free to visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Join us tomorrow evening for your next weather broadcast. Thank you.
To end the news, the headlines again. Kellyanne Williams assumes the post of acting DFC events coordinator. 9 candidates on the ground heading into Monday's Urban Council elections, and tourist arrivals for this year's World Creole Music Festival predicted to be the highest so far. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.